Barnsley is a large town in South Yorkshire, England, located halfway between Leeds and Sheffield. Historically in the West Riding of Yorkshire, it lies on the River Dearne. Barnsley is surrounded by several smaller settlements which together form the Metropolitan Borough of Barnsley, of which Barnsley is the largest and its administrative centre. At the 2011 census, Barnsley had a population of 91,297. Barnsley is a former industrial town centred on coal mining and glassmaking. Although both industries declined in the 20th century, Barnsley's culture is rooted in its industrial heritage and it has a tradition of brass bands, originally created as social clubs by its mining communities. It is also home of the Barnsley Chop. The town is accessed from junctions 36, 37 and 38 of the M1 motorway and has a railway station on the Hallam and Penistone lines. Barnsley FC is the local football club. History. The first reference to Barnsley occurs in 1086 in the Domesday Book, in which it is called Barnsley and has a population of around 200. The origin of the name Barnsley is subject to debate, but Barnsley Council claims that its origins lie in the Saxon word burn for barn, a storehouse, and ley for field. The town was in the parish of Silkstone and developed little until in the 1150s when it was given to the Pontefract Priory. The monks built a town where three roads met, the Sheffield to Wakefield, Rotherham to Huddersfield and Cheshire to Doncaster routes. The Domesday village became known as Old Barnsley, and a town grew up on the new site. The monks erected a chapel of ease dedicated to St. Mary, which survived until 1820, and established a market. In 1249, a royal charter was granted to Barnsley permitting it to hold a weekly market on Wednesdays and an annual four-day fair at Michaelmas. By the 1290s, 3 annual fairs were held. The town was the centre of the Stane Cross Wap and Tate, but in the mid-16th century had only 600 inhabitants. For the 17th century, Barnsley developed into a stop-off point on the route between Leeds, Wakefield, Sheffield and London. The traffic generated as a result of its location fueled trade, with hostelries and related services prospering. A principal centre for linen weaving during the 18th and 19th century, Barnsley grew into an important manufacturing town. Barnsley became a municipal borough in 1869, and a county borough in 1913. The town's boundaries were extended to absorb Ardsley and Monk Breton in 1921 and Carlton in 1938. Barnsley was the site of a stampede that resulted in the deaths of 16 children in 1908 at a public hall now known as the Civic, when children were rushing to watch a film in the building. Barnsley has a long tradition of glass making, but is most famous for its coal mines. In 1960, there were 70 collieries within a 15-mile radius of Barnsley town centre, but the last of these closed in 1994. George Orwell mentioned the town in The Road to Wigan Pier. He spent a number of days in the town living in the houses of the working-class miners while researching for the book. He wrote very critically of the council's expenditure on the construction of Barnsley Town Hall and claimed that the money should have been spent on improving the housing and living conditions of the local miners. Governance. Barnsley was created a county borough in 1913, administered independently of the West Riding of Yorkshire. In 1974, following the Local Government Act 1972, the county borough was abolished and Barnsley became part of the Metropolitan Borough of Barnsley in the new county of South Yorkshire, along with 9 urban districts and parts of 2 rural districts of the surrounding area, including many towns and villages including Penistone and Cudworth. Elections to Barnsley Metropolitan Borough Council Council have seen the Labour Party retain control of the council at every election. Following the latest election in 2012, the council has 53 Labour, 5 Barnsley Independent Group and 5 Conservative councillors. The Borough Council elects the mayor every year. On the day of the election, a parade takes place in front of the town hall in honour of the new mayor. Barnsley is split into 3 constituencies: Barnsley Central, whose MP is Dan Jarvis of the Labour Party; Barnsley East, whose MP is Michael Duffer of the Labour Party; and Penistone and Stocksbridge, whose MP is Angela Smith of the Labour Party. Geography. Divisions and suburbs: Ardsley, Athersley, Birdwell, Carlton, Cundy Cross, Darton, Elsecar, Gorber, Honeywell, Hoyland Common, Jump, Kentry, Kingston, Lundwood, Monk Bretton, New Lodge, Oakwell, Old Town, Penistone, Pogmore, Smithies, Royston, Stairfit, Ward Green, Wilthorpe, Worsborough, Wormwell, Stamecross, Mapplewell. Ethnicity in 2011, Barnsley was 94.7% white, British 1.1%, Asian 0.8%, black. The town had a population of 91,297 in 2011. Economy. The town was known for coal mining, although most of the pits were in the surrounding villages, rather than the town. All the mines in the borough are now closed. Goldthorpe was the last to close in 1994. Wire, linen and glass-making were also major industries, but only glass-making remains, with one company still operating. The coat of arms for the town has both a coal mine and a glass blower supporting a shield and depicting local families and other industries. Above a ribbon bearing the town's motto, Spectamur Agendo. Major companies in Barnsley include online retailer ASOS, the largest cake bakery in Europe; Premier Foods, who make the Mr. Kipling cake brand; Wrexham Glass, Symphony Kitchens, Premdor, several double glazing joinery manufacturers, and a number of other large food manufacturers. Most of these businesses are based on industrial parks outside the town centre, including many unreclaimed former coal mine sites. The town centre is now moving towards a service economy. In July 2007, unemployment stood at 2.8% in Barnsley Western Amp, Penistone, 4.2% in Barnsley Central and 4.0% in Barnsley Eastern Amp, Mexborough, compared to the national average of 3.1%. Between 1997 and 2007, unemployment fell by 55.2%, 52.5% and 52.5% in the 3 areas respectively. The western half of the borough stretches from the M1 to the edge of the Peak District and is rural in character. This western part includes the market town of Penistone and Wentworth Castle and its Grade I-listed gardens, Cannon Hall Park and Museum, Cawthorne Jubilee Museum, Wortley Hall and Gardens, and Wortley Topforge. Pothouse Hamlet. In 2002, Barnsley Council and partners launched a consultation, Rethinking Barnsley. It led to a regeneration program centred on the town centre. Developments included the transport interchange, a cultural centre in the old Civic Hall, a digital media centre, and new offices and apartments throughout the town centre. At the same time, new housing areas were developed. Business parks on the M1 at junctions 37 and 36, and in the Dearne Valley, have expanded job opportunities. Unemployment is now below the national average, but the large number of people are on incapacity benefit. The economic development of Barnsley is led by the Barnsley Development Agency. Significant industrial employers include the Ardagh Group. Town Centre. A large part of Barnsley Town Centre was constructed during the 1960s. The area around Cheapside and Mayday Green, the Metropolitan Centre, is home to the market and many national high street chains such as Marks & Amp, Spencer, W.H. Smith, Carphone Warehouse, Vodafone, Boots, and The Body Shop. It is in the process of demolition to make way for a new retail and leisure development. Alhambra Shopping Centre, which was opened in 1991, houses retailers such as Next, Thomas Cook, Pone Stretcher, Barber and Primark. Other prominent areas include Queen Street, home to Marks & Spencer, stores such as Topshop, Topman, Wallace and Dorothy Perkins were located here, but have largely been replaced by other businesses. Market Street, Eldon Street and the Arcade, which houses the majority of the independent and designer retailers in Barnsley. The town also has a large concentration of pubs and bars in the central district. There is also a cinema called Parkway Cinema. Outside the town centre are large retail units, retail parks and supermarkets, which include Asda, Morrison's, Currys, and Halfords. The development of a new shopping centre was started in the town centre in late 2015. Several stores such as Vodafone and Halifax Bank have opened. Development. Barnsley Town Centre is undergoing a period of change. Projects include the new Barnsley Interchange, the Digital Media Centre, Gateway Plaza at Town End. Second phase has started. Experience Barnsley, the creation of the Barnsley People's Museum and Archives Centre. This project has been awarded almost £3 million of funding from the Heritage Lottery Fund, which means 2 floors of Barnsley's distinctive town hall will be transformed into state-of-the-art museum galleries, the first devoted to the borough's stories, past and present. Barnsley College A block was completed and opened in September 2011. The Markets complex, which was to house Barnsley Market and be the centre of the town's retailing, anchored by a Debenham store, has been largely cancelled, instead being replaced by a much smaller scheme to provide public open space, through demolition of the long-since vacated council offices, and a limited refurbishment of the existing 1970s market halls. Landmarks. Alhambra Centre, Barnsley College. Barnsley Town Hall recently turned into museum. Cannon Hall Museum, Park and Amp Gardens. Hound Hill, Lock Park. Oakwell Stadium Football Ground, home of Barnsley Football Club. Wentworth Castle and Amp Gardens. Barnsley Interchange, Parish Church of St John the Baptist. The first bottle bank for glass recycling collection in the United Kingdom was introduced by both Stanley Race CBE, then President of the Glass Manufacturers Federation, and Ron England in Barnsley, according to a BBC Radio 4 edition of PM Ed on 6 June 2007, and a web article. The bank opened in June 1977, but a BBC web article published in 2002 states that the bottle bank opened on 24 August 1977. Transport. The main transport hub, Barnsley Interchange, a combined rail and bus station, opened on Sunday 20 May 2007. First project in the remaking Barnsley scheme to be completed. Stagecoach Yorkshire run most bus services within Barnsley, operating to and from Barnsley Interchange. Stagecoach acquired the company from Yorkshire Traction in 2005, and has come under fire for operating the service poorly. Stagecoach overhauled bus services in a bid to improve performance. Train services are provided by Northern. Northbound there is a half-hourly express service to Leeds which takes around 35 minutes, augmented by a slower service via Castleford which takes around 50 minutes. There is an hourly service to Huddersfield via the Penistone line. Southbound there are 4 trains per hour to Meadowhall Interchange and Sheffield, 2 of which are local stopping services and 2 of which are express. 1 service per hour continues to Chesterfield and Nottingham. Evenings and Sundays there is a less frequent service. Barnsley is served by Dodworth railway station west of the town centre, which is a stop on the Penistone line, and has 1 platform. Darton railway station, however, is on the Hallam line, has 2 platforms and is in the north of Barnsley. The nearest airport is Robin Hood Airport, approximately 26 miles away. There is a direct bus service from Barnsley to the airport, the X19, which runs hourly. Education. Barnsley College is one of the largest further and higher education establishments in Europe and is situated on a number of sites throughout the town centre, chiefly the Old Mill Lane site, Eastgate House, the Sitex Centre, the Honeywell site and the Construction Centre. The University of Huddersfield has recently opened a campus in the town on Church Street besides Barnsley Town Hall. This is known as the University Centre Barnsley. All 14 secondary schools in Barnsley are soon to be updated and replaced by academy education centres. Named super schools, these new schools are to combine numerous schools in the area. Barnsley College is currently undergoing massive redevelopment. A block is undergoing a complete rebuild and the scheduled completion date for July 2011. This new building will become the main campus of Barnsley College. Notable people. Musical groups. The Arctic Monkeys studied music at Barnsley College. The Dance Society, a positive punk gothic rock group from Barnsley, active from 1981 to 1987. Lately reformed. Party Day, goth indie band following in the wake of Dance Society, active from 1981 to 88. Saxon, heavy metal band which formed in and has members from Barnsley. Bury Tomorrow, heavy metal band featuring Barnsley-born guitarist Kristen Dawson. The Darkness studied music at Barnsley College. Folk singer, songwriter Kate Rusby has lived in Barnsley since birth. Sam Nixon from Sam and Mark. Culture. English author Chris Roberts quips that the small town of Barnsley is a couple hundred miles north of London geographically, but several time zones away culturally. Barnsley is home to a tradition of brass bands, which were originally created as social clubs for the mining communities. Grimethorpe Colliery Band, located in Grimethorpe, 5 miles to the east of Barnsley, is perhaps the best-known brass band in Britain. It rose to fame in the film Brass-Off and is now the artist-in-residence at the Royal College of Music, London. The band has performed in Hyde Park during the last night of the proms. Other events include things such as Picnic in the Park being held on the 28th of June 2014 to celebrate 20 years of Barnsley Hospice. The Bard of Barnsley, Ian Macmillan, writes a column in the Barnsley Chronicle. He was nominated for a chair of poetry at Oxford University, and appears on BBC Radio 4. The Barnsley accent is starting to wear off amongst the younger generation, but it has generally been better maintained than most other Yorkshire accents. Barnsley has long been known as Tarn by locals, however this seems to be heard less as the Barnsley accent seems to be spoken less amongst the younger age group. Ken Loach's 1969 film Cass was set and filmed in several villages in Barnsley, including Lundwood and Monk Breton, using local actors such as Freddie Fletcher. His 1977 film The Price of Coal was set at a fictional Milton colliery in the Barnsley area, although the site of filming was Thorpe Hesley, near Rotherham. There is a live rock and hip-hop music scene, which reached its height in the Britpop years around 1997, due to its close proximity to Sheffield and Manchester. the 1980s saw the rise of Saxon Dance Society and Party Day. Two of the Arctic Monkeys studied music at Barnsley College, and Barnsley has its own rappers. Yes sir. Barnsley is the home of several live music venues such as the Underground, Shambles Street, and hosts Bombfest, an outdoor summer music festival which caters for local and national artists, which made the Daily Telegraph Top 100 UK Summer Festivals in 2009. Barnsley Council operates 4 museums: Elsie Carr Heritage Centre, Cannon Hall, the Cooper Gallery, and Worsborough Mill. There are plans for a 4th museum in the Town Hall, a project known as Experience Barnsley. Other museums in Barnsley include the volunteer-run Darfield Museum and the Cawthorne Victoria Jubilee Museum. Other heritage sites include Wortley Top Forge, Wortley Hall, Wentworth Castle, Monk Breton Priory, and Pothouse Hamlet. Hive Gallery is a contemporary art gallery founded in 2007 by Creative Barnsley and Patrick Murphy. It is situated in Elsie Carr Heritage Centre and curates 8 contemporary art exhibitions per year. The Hive program ranges from supporting emerging contemporary artists to exhibiting the work of nationally and internationally known artists. Previous shows have included famous artists such as Sir Peter Blake and Patrick Caulfield. The Lamproom Theatre has 4 theatrical companies and showcases theatre in the town. The Academy Theatre is part of the Take Two Centre, where performances range from comedy, West End performers, musicals, and the traditional An Evening with ... The Take Two Centre houses the Take Two Performing Arts Academy, the Academy Cafe, the Take Two Music Centre, and Links Training and Development. The Civic in Barnsley Town Centre is a multi-purpose performance venue in a Grade 2 listed building. The Civic was reopened in March 2009 after a major redevelopment. The Civic has hosted high-profile acts such as Al Murray and Russell Howard. The Civic houses a contemporary art gallery that hosts touring exhibition from the Vietnam and the Flow Gallery in London. The Civic also curates its own work for touring, such as Little Black Dress and most recently Brazil +55. Twin Towns. Barnsley is twinned with Sport. Barnsley FC play in the Football League Championship, the second tier of English football. The home ground, Oakwell Stadium, is situated in Oakwell, just outside the town centre. The club has had a mixed recent history. In the late 1990s they had a brief spell in the Premier League but were relegated after 1 season. Subsequent seasons saw them relegated to the 3rd tier of English football. After 4 seasons, Barnsley regained a place in the 2nd tier, following a victory at Wembley in the 2016 Football League One playoff final. Speedway racing was staged at a track near Barnsley at Barnsley Lundwood. The track entered a team in the Northern Leagues of 1929 and 1930, and currently have professional speedway rider Josh Bates hailing from Barnsley. Rugby league is played in the town at a number of clubs, past and present. Dodworth ARL FC played in the 2nd division of the BARLA-run Pennine League, playing through the winter. They played at the Miners' Welfare Ground in Dodworth until deteriorating player participation forced the club to fold 5 games into the 2013-14 season. The same fate befell Highland Vikings ARL FC, prompting talk of a merger. This, however, failed to materialize, leaving only 1 club to represent the town. The only representation now comes from the Dearne Valley Bulldogs in nearby Bolton-on-Dearne. Like Dodworth and Highland, they participate in the Pennine League. Barnsley Broncos play in the RFL Conference, which is a summer competition and runs from May to September. Also based at the Miners' Welfare, Barnsley Broncos were set up to play in the less intense summer season. Shore Lane is the home to many sports in town: cricket, rugby union, squash, bowls, football, athletics and archery are all played to a high standard and host many of the town's teams, including Barnsley CC in Barnsley RUFC. People's Sport in Barnsley is a project writing the history of participation in sport in Barnsley is in progress and is expected to be complete in 2015. The town also has a high-standard badminton league with 3 separate tiers. The town hosts Barnsley Harriers, a nationally recognised running club. Ardsley Golf Club, Barnsley, first appeared in the 1930s. The club disappeared at the onset of the Second World War. There are a number of cycling clubs in and around Barnsley, including Barnsley Road Club itself, the long-established Birdwell Wheelers and Team Cystic Fibrosis, together covering many different forms of cycle sport and leisure. There have also been various other initiatives set up to promote cycling in the town and district of Barnsley.